Got your back against the wall, no you know you never had a chance. Should've known better, now you better make other plans. There's no going back, gotta let you know in advance. This is Game Squad.
Come on down to Truly Urban Hobby Shop, located at 2391 Grand Concourse in the Bronx, New York, for all your Yu-Gi-Oh needs. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the video.
Alright, so here's the deck profile. Just a couple things. I got 5th place. I lost only in the last round, and I was the only undefeated player before that, so I'm actually surprised I didn't do better, but I guess it's just how the tiebreakers work. This is also my first regional. I mean, I've played before. I just haven't played in a regional. I play at my locals. I've been playing since July. I played back in the day when the game came out, but I haven't been playing that consistently for like 10 years, or 15 years, 12 years, I don't know, some long amount of time. Anyways, here's the deck. I'm just going to go quick because I can't record very long. 3 Decatrons. Decatron's great. He's a tuner. He can gain it. He can be any level you want. Whatever he sends, he gains their levels. I play 1 Prometheus. He sends set cards back. I go into him a lot more than other people do because I like to send monsters back, and I like to make my opponent think that traps are gonna be targeted, so they always activate them right away. 2 Antras, dealing with monsters that can't be destroyed. Petrula, oh, also level 2. Petrula, level 4, 2 of them. So it's 2 Antras, 2 Petrulas. He destroys spells and trap cards. He has to be in the deck in order for Decatron to be an out to like Iron Wall. So you need at least 2. Most people play 3. My deck's a little packed. It is at 40 cards, so no room for other things. 2 Harmodix. Destroys monsters. All the babies can banish things from my opponent's graveyard by tributing a monster on the field, not necessarily themselves. I play 1 Piatti, level 5. When he deals damage to your opponent through a monster, he pulls a card out of their hand randomly. Also being level 5, the level 5 and 6 can also be summoned from the graveyard, so they actually allow you to make a lot of the level 6 and 7 synchros without having a baby in your hand, which is one of the big issues with Infernoids. You need to get the 3rd monster on board to kill your opponent, but by being able to do this without a baby, it gives you much better opportunities to OTK. I play 1 Sajet, level 6. He can make Decatron 7 for XC plays. And also, if Decatron gets, like, if I don't send a monster, Decatron's 1, and I can summon him, it's 7. Best monster in the deck, Seismos. I play 2. When he battles a monster, at the end of the battle phase, you can banish a card on the field. It's a non-targeted effect, so this gets around Kozmo, Monarchs, everything. Nothing is safe. His biggest weakness is his attack is only 2600, which I've dealt with using another card. I play 2 Atondel. He's 2800. He attacks twice if he sends the opponent, the monster he battled, to the graveyard. Also 2 weak nowadays, so same problem was rectified with a different card. I'll show you later. Play 2 Deviati. Level 9, destroys all spell and trap cards except void cards. So I run a lot of void cards because they don't get destroyed. He negates monster effects by tributing cards on the field. So I just summon Decatron every turn and negate the monster effects that they play with Deviati. I play 2 Inoku. He destroys all monsters on the field when he's summoned, and negates spells and trap cards by tributing monsters on the field. I just summon Decatron and keep negating spells and trap cards. Same thing. Also, he does kill all Infernoid monsters, so if you want to protect them, if you have a Void Suit in the graveyard, you can actually save them that way. Also, once you summon Deviati or Inoku, you kind of lock yourself out of summoning additional cards. So that's something to be careful about. Spells, I play 1 Monster Gate, 3 Reasoning, because they make the deck better. There's no reason not to play them. I'd rather play this than try and just mill other ways. I mean, it's all random. Might as well mill as much as possible. 1 Burial, 1/1 summons Decatron. Every card in your hand is expendable in terms of monsters, except for Decatron, so just discard and summon. Rekindling, the only normal summon in the deck is Decatron, so it's a great card to play. Out to everything, so this is an extra out, so it's 1/1, but this one's better because Well, this one, they're different. This one summons from the deck, which is sometimes what you need, and this one summons from the graveyard with no cost, which is sometimes something you need. 2 Twin Twisters. Discarding a card in this deck doesn't mean anything, just discard a monster. So like in Kozmo, they're playing MSTs to avoid discarding. So this deals a little bit better with back row. I played 2 Breakthrough Skills in the main deck for Monarchs and for anything really. It's just a good card. Also, it has a banish from graveyard effect, so you can use that if it gets milled. The out 2 monsters that are too big is Skill Successor. Me and my brother were trying to find a way to boost my attack points, so Sightsmoss can actually attack things, which was his biggest problem. So we came up with this card, because I used to play it in a Watt deck to make my Maz and Pa Hunders like actually kill stuff, because they're just puny. And these have a banish from graveyard effect for 800 attack. Their set trap card effect is 400 attack during either player's turn, but banish during your turn, not the turn it was sent to the graveyard, you gain 800. So that makes Sightsmoss 34, so it gets over everything. Not that I really thought I'd play a Great Magnus, but this would also get over Great Magnus with the Noku or Tiara. You know, some sort of unkillable, untargetable monster. It's the only way to get enough attack points in this deck to kill them. I run a Void engine, which is something most people don't play. This lets you search a Void card by discarding... this is Void Banishment, there are 3 of them. And when you play 3 Imaginations, it's essentially playing against a deck that plays an extra deck. You're essentially playing 6 additional Reasonings. So I've used that. So yeah, you discard a card, you search a Void card, and if you do that, you can only summon Infernoids that turn. So you can summon non-Infernoids first. That's one thing. Every card's expendable, discard and search. I'll show you what the search card gets in a minute. It also has a backup effect, which is very useful. You can send this to the graveyard when an Infernoid battles another monster and banish both monsters at the end of the damage calculation, regardless of whether they died or not. So that's great. It can search a Void Seer, which everyone knows, protects Infernoids. If it's in the graveyard, you can banish it to protect yourself from destruction, including your own monster. So you can summon an Oku and save your other monster. If your opponent has an extra deck monster, you can fusion summon using Imagination. It also lowers your monsters to 1. So if you have a lot in the graveyard when you start the turn, what you do is you play this and you summon like everything from the graveyard, and then you fusion summon. You do half damage when this is on the field, so fusion summoning is the way to get it off the field, the best way. If you play Galaxy Cyclone, you can also destroy it yourself after summoning things. The most search target in the deck is Purification, which lets you grind out every game. During your opponent's turn, you could pick up Decatrons from the graveyard, or any Inferno from the graveyard. You pick up Decatron, just so you can normal summon him and continue to mill 1. And during your opponent's standby phase, you can pick them back up. During yours, you can put banished ones back in the graveyard. So what you do is, at the beginning of your opponent's standby phase, you just tribute them off to banish a card in the graveyard, and then just pick them back up. If there's no Decatron in the graveyard, you pick up Deviati or Noku for fusion summoning, because if you don't have them in the deck to use the fusion summon, they need to be in your hand. So they're the secondary choice. Nothing else really makes sense to put in your hand. I guess if you need a particular baby, you can do that. Launch. During Void Launch, during your opponent's standby phase, you send 2 Infernoids from the deck to the graveyard. You send whatever you need. Or if you have everything you need in the graveyard, send something you're willing to banish. I usually just send big guys, because they can come back from the graveyard, and I want to leave my deck with only good cards to draw, so it just gets rid of things you don't need to draw. So deck thinning. Extra deck, Red Eyes Flare Dragon. I didn't summon it. But if your opponent's life's low, just lock them down. Big Eye, didn't summon it. Dracosac, it won a game against Kozmo by giving me tokens to tribute to negate things with the Noku. I negated a Kozmo Town, and Kozmo Town's one of the most annoying cards in that matchup, because killing it with Deviati just sets it off, but banishing it gets rid of it. So Sightsmoss banishes Kozmo Town, and so does Anoku. Gaia Knight, Force of Earth, is vanilla, so he doesn't count against your effect levels. Big part of OTKs, he won me a game or 2. Scrap Archfiend, same thing. Level 7. Guy I go into when I have Decatron stuck at level 1 and summon an Piatti in the graveyard. If I have Sajet, I go into Scrap. I play 3 Omega. I send in the graveyard with Tiara's first effect, and then I just put them back in the extra deck and return limited 1 cards from my deck, my graveyard to my deck, like Rekindling, Burial from a Different Dimension. Sometimes I send the Imagination back, or Purification, or anything that got milled I didn't want milled. I can put a Decatron in the deck if I run out of reasoning targets, just to have a reasoning target. I could put in a lot of things. I only summoned him once, though. I don't summon him every turn like everybody else. Clearwing, I didn't summon him, but if you have Clearwing on board, summon Inoku, negate Inoku. He'll have 5,500 attack, then just summon 1 more guy. That's an OTK. Black Rose, didn't summon. Moonlight, didn't summon. Spark Dragon, summon Inoku and protect himself, then attack for 55. It's pretty good. I didn't summon him though. Scarlight, it's 3,000, gets over Monarchs, didn't summon him. Also deals damage. And I play 2 Tiaras. His first effect is send 3 monsters from... If you use 3 Infernoids, which is required for the fusion, Inoku, Deviati, and any other Infernoid, as many as you want. 3 different names, he sends 3 cards from the extra deck to the graveyard. It's the effect I use most. 5, he sends 3 cards from the top of the deck to the graveyard. These happen to both players. So mill randomly. It's not bad. 8 different ones, you can return 3 banish cards to the graveyard. I didn't play that effect all day, but if you have 2 different ones in your hand, you can send those to the graveyard with the 6 from the deck that are just different from the ones in your hand, and you reach that effect. You have 4 in hand, you send the 6 different ones from the deck, which this deck actually can do. Most decks can't, because they don't play the 2 other ones I play. So I can actually use the 10 monster effect and make both players discard their hands. Generally, your opponent doesn't have enough cards in hand to make that worth it, but sometimes it does. It didn't happen in the tournament. Side deck, 1 MST I didn't play. Void Seer, I played it against Phantom Knight once to event Fog Blade from Screw Me Up. I'd side in the additional Imaginations if my opponent played an extra deck, and that way with the 3 Vanishments and the 2 Imaginations I'm playing 9 Reasonings and 1 Monster Gate, so this is brutal. I play an extra Twin Twister if I think I'm going to get floodgated. I have 3 Wabakus, but I only put in 2 in a few games. If I was going to go first against Kozmo or Water, I just didn't want to get OTK'd, and Wabaku did save me 1 game, and it did lead to the victory in a Kozmo matchup. I definitely would pull 1. I play 2 Trap Stun, which negates counter traps, and then Deviati kills the counter traps. So this is the out to counter traps, like Strike, if I see those. Additionally, this negates Iron Wall, or any other floodgate, and then it also negates my own trap cards, but Deviati doesn't kill my trap cards. So I play this so I don't have to play Twin Twister or Fairy Wind or something like that. I play 2 Fiend Comedian for the mirror match, or any kind of graveyard deck, Phantom Knights or anything else. Extra Breakthrough Skill if I feel like it's necessary, Monarchs, so on. Torrential, never played it. And Soul Drain for the water matchup, and Kozmo, never drew it. Did play it. So yeah, overall, it was a good event, my first event, so I don't know, I guess 5th place is good. The main deck I think is solid, the side deck needs work. I want to put in Chain Disappearance to get rid of Neptibus, and probably take out a Wabaku, that MST, I don't know what else I'm going to put in, but if you have any ideas, leave a comment below, I'm going to try and read them. Thanks.
Please stay connected with me by adding me on all my social networks on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Just copy the link into your search bar and add. Thank you.